If I stayed and Justine left, what would I do? What can I do? It's doing my fucking head in here.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you don't know the speeds, your girl KylerB coming at you with a new video. So today let's talk about Love Island Games Season 1 Episode 13, and let's get into the video. In today's episode, after the Heart Race Challenge, we have the vulnerable couples, which were Jack and Justine, Ray and Jess, and Carrington and Kyra. So the boys had to pick which boy to go home, and the girls had to pick which girl to go home. With that being said, the boys, well, mostly Johnny, he was trying to save Carrington and Ray. He said about Ray that since Ray saved him from the duel, he had to, owe him back, have his back and keep him. He can't send his home. He also said that Carrington just got here 2 days ago. So he was like, well, Jack, Jack is pretty strong, da-da-da-da-da. He was trying to send Jack home. But, Eyal is basically saying, like, nah, he's going to have Jack's back. So the thing is, what really came down to it is Johnny can't hold on to two guys while Jack is by himself. Like, while Eyal is holding on to Jack. Johnny would have to make a decision and pick either Ray or Carrington. So he had to pick between Ray and Carrington because he can't save two of them. He had to pick his person to save while Eyal is picking Jack to save. Now the girls, Jess is keep on talking about how, it would be bad to send Jess home basically after the whole Johnny situation. And then, some of them were talking about the whole Kyra situation and whatnot, if they can send Kyra home, whatever. Justine was never really a talking point to send home with the girls because obviously Sally was not going to let that happen. So but it really comes down to it was Johnny. He had announced that Carrington was going home and he was very sad. He started crying. Man's used his hat that he had in that challenge the way to block and protect his face because we did not see not one tear from his eye. Man's covered his face really well. Like, he was very upset. He was crying, but he made that hat for a purpose because we did not see him like at all because he covered his face very well. Now the girls, they sent home Kyra. So everybody was a bit shocked because, they understand the guys was a bit tough, but sending home Kyra over Jess was a bit shocking. Anyway, Justine was sad. She started, being sad because Kyra is one of her good friends. And, it is what it is. Like, she's safe, but her friend is leaving. Liberty and Callum get a text because obviously they're a power couple. So the text said that they get a hideaway. So everybody was laughing because, they're a friendship couple. So what is there to expect in a hideaway? They still got up and got dressed, because getting the hideaway is a big thing. And so they still got dressed and whatever. They got to the hideaway. They were happy about the chocolates and the grapes and, being happy that they won power couple and whatnot. And then they get a text. And the text told them that they're able to switch up every couple and flip them and switch them. So they had that power of rearranging the entire couples. So with that being said, they did their thing. They decided to keep it a secret. So in the next morning when they came back from the hideaway, they decided to keep it a secret. And, Callum lied to the guys because when the guys were asking him, did he get a text? And he was like, oh, well, I was waiting for a text. And, just because Ray and Imani got a text, I was like hoping that we would get a text, but we didn't get a text. So they believed him because, anything can happen. Like, they're only the second person to go into the highway. So who knows what could happen in there. Anyways, as soon as that happened, Maura Higgins and Kim comes into the villa. And Maura Higgins is going to do, she's going to grill. She's going to air everybody out. So as soon as Maura asked, like, what happened to the hideaway, Callum just aired it out. Said he's like, well, me and Liberty got a text, and then everybody's like, wow, you just lied to me just like what, a few moments ago, and now you're telling me that you had a text. So they revealed that the text was to switch around the couples. They showed what pairing they're going to be. So they put Imani with Al, Sully with Ray, Jess with Mike. Then next thing you know, they kept Johnny and Courtney in the same couple, which was like, okay.
Let's go! The reason being, I feel like obviously Johnny has come in here and he's been on the back foot since the start.
Oh, let's go.
So I just thought Johnny deserves to have a little bit of heat off him for once.
Thank you,
bro.
much.
Thank
oh
you, Liberty.
God.
And then Jack and Justine were like, okay, that's about it. Like, we're not going to be switched around or switched up.
Let's fucking go.
Justine and Jack. How you feeling?
Good.
Yeah, good.
Happy?
Happy.
Yes.
Well, look, don't get too happy because they haven't said their decision yet. Justine, please, come to the heart.
Oh, what the fuck?
Next thing you know, Callum coupled up with Justine, and then Liberty coupled up with Jack. So those were the 6 couples. I feel like the error was keeping the same couple unchanged. Keeping Johnny and Courtney together was very much the biggest error. But it was very much a favoritism thing because they were looking at, okay, they were thinking strategically, but they were also did not want to switch around things because, you know, switching up Imani and Ray because of their power couple status, which was smart because it's like you don't want to put them in power couple again, but keeping Johnny and Courtney together, even though we don't know their strategies or whatever, or how they do in competition wise, it still wasn't a good idea to keep them together if you're going to switch around everybody else, you know what I'm saying? But anyways, that is what they did. So they had 3 different rounds, and the person who loses, who's the loser in each round, is vulnerable. So Sully and Jess went first in the rounds. Liberty and Imani went next in the rounds, and Courtney and Justine went in the last heat of the round. So with that being said, the losers of each round was Jess and Mike, Liberty and Jack, and Justine and Callum. So they're the 3 vulnerable couples, and they're going to be up to being sent home while the other 3 were safe. So I'm just like, Jack and Justine, even though they're not even coupled up together, they're vulnerable yet again. They were just vulnerable from the heart race challenge. Now they're vulnerable in a separate couple. So it's just like, what's going on? And then in Deliberation, we hear, you know, Callum and Liberty talk, and they were talking about like, oh, you know, they might want to save Jess and Mike because, you know, everybody else was sent home, Jess and Mike. And I'm just like, don't think about having Justine and Jack on opposite sides, like trying to duel each other out or whatever, because, you know, they're going to have to save one of the couples and then the other couple might duel out. But my thing is, since Liberty and Callum are in the vulnerable couple, in a vulnerable couple as well, what are you gonna have to choose to save yourself? Because yeah, you might want to save Jess and Mike, but then you got to remember that both Liberty and Callum on a different couple is also at risk to being sent home. So who do you want to save? Do you want to save Jack and Liberty and, you know, have Justine and Callum go against each other, go against, you know, Jess and Mike? What do you want to do? But that's up for deliberation, up for debate, because I don't think they would keep themselves vulnerable, because you got to understand that Liberty and Callum are both in a vulnerable couple. So they have to think about what do they want to do, what's going on, and what's going to be happening. So it is what it is. You know, we will see which couple gets saved and then which 2 couples might duel it out. So one's going home. And then we might see familiar faces coming after that. You know, Deb and Scott And I'm just like, But anyway, guys, this is episode 13. I just feel like the rearranging was a bit wild, but we'll see what happens. You know, Jack was definitely stressing because he does not want him or Justine to either go home.
Jack's fuming.
Is he? Why?
Livid.
I'm so pissed off. The coupling up thing really is fucking bugging me. Me and Justine, we're both vulnerable. In my mind, one of us is going home. Oh, my life! It's just fucking doing my head in, man.
And it's just like, it's a tough position to be in because they've been in the bottom for the 3rd time now. So, yeah. But anyway, guys, let's see what happens in the next episode. And if you guys like this video, like the video, comment down below, let me know your thoughts, comments, concerns, anything else, subscribe to my channel, subscribe. Anyway, thank you guys for watching this video. Peace.